returning to a daily format probably ever. But yeah, we've got a major solar uptick going on. So the likelihood of X-class solar flares is certainly there. We'll see a rise in the radio flux as the day goes on. And we've got a large North Pole oriented coronal hole already in the earthly zone in terms of magnetic fields. So Earth is in a North Pole oriented magnetic sector now. Not sure exactly when the planet crossed over, but now in a North Pole sector, and there's a very large coronal hole rotating in. We've also got some active sunspots in place, including some that have Delta class sunspots. So that's pretty sweet if you're hoping for solar flares. And of course, we are on the channel. Is it going to end civilization? Well, certainly not. I mean, solar flares are just X-rays. And don't forget, folks, we don't want you to conflate, rather, solar flares with coronal mass ejections. These are different things. Coronal mass ejections are primarily protons, and solar flares are photons, X-rays. So please don't conflate the two. We hear it all the time, and there's no proportionality. It doesn't matter how big the flare is. Large flares happen regularly with no coronal mass ejections, and coronal mass ejections happen regularly with no flares. So yeah, don't conflate, or we won't be able to relate. So that's a little bit about what's going on, and yeah, it's what we want to see, a solar uptick. So that's always exciting. At least I'm excited. And yeah, we'll see the radio flux rise. And I think the sunspot number is going to rise again, right back up around the monthly average. So if we are still ramping down at the moment and not ramping back up, which we very well may be, as we watch sunspots grow right around the equatorial portion of the solar disk. So that's what you want. I mean, that's the most likely scenario for Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. And that's what we want to see, as we would prefer to see the aurora than not. So yeah, excited about that. It's always a delight. And we'll take a brief look at news stories here. I've got to be somewhere at about 8 o'clock. So again, this will be a relatively short live stream. If you haven't checked out the forums lately, check out smashomash.com/forum. smashomash.com/forum. It's completely free, and there's some new recipes posted there that I haven't even had time to check out myself. Sunspot number is currently at, it's at about 108, 108 sunspots. And the radio flux, we're going to wait for that to update. But it's probably going to be at something like 170, 160 to 170 would be my guess, an educated one for the radio flux. For those of you not aware, the 10.7 centimeter radio flux is a proportional data set to sunspot number. So, sunspot number is the generally recognized representative data set for sunspot, solar activity, the solar cycle, and so on. But the radio flux is a direct proportion of that. So you see a high sunspot number, you see a high 10.7 centimeter radio flux. And of course, when I say 160 or it'll be 160 plus, I think, today. And that's 160 solar flux units. If you want to look up what that is, solar flux units, it's 10,000 Janskys. Each solar flux unit is 10,000 Jansky of radio flux density. As far as news stories go, let's check out what's going on in the financial markets. Probably more distress for the U.S. economy because of terrible, ridiculous, and frankly idiotic economic policy. So stock futures have jumped, trying to recover from the post-jobs report sell-off. Gee, I can't imagine why that would happen. What? We've got less jobs? Maybe because that's one of the many ways that tariffs harm the economy? I mean, duh. Yeah, Tariffs create jobs, and they also cause jobs to be eliminated. And guess what the aggregate is? They cause a net loss of jobs. So, I mean, what the heck? Like, listen to what Peter Schiff says, all right? Peter Schiff did a podcast last night, and I was sitting there going, yep, 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 to everything he said. I mean, sometimes I even pause Peter Schiff's podcasts, and I ramble on about something, and then when I unpause it, he's saying what I'm saying practically verbatim. Gee, isn't that a coincidence? So yeah, stock futures jump. I wouldn't be buying today. I mean, I wouldn't be going long on Jack today because this is not a good scenario. I mean, let's see. What else is going on here in financial news? White House struggles to justify firing of BLS chief over weak jobs numbers, as if it's the labor secretary's fault that bad economic policy has led to less jobs. All right. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hayden. The one is pro on fish. Cool. Hi. All right. Let's see what else we have here. We're not going to talk about Kramer's stock picks because Kramer is not not really credible or trustworthy. Tesla approves share award worth $29 billion to CEO Elon Musk. What? What does that mean? Tesla has granted Musk 96 million shares worth $29 billion, aimed at keeping the billionaire entrepreneur at the helm as he fights a court ruling that voided his original pay deal for being unfair to shareholders. Wow, no, not Elon. He doesn't mislead anybody. He's totally truthful. Pardon the sarcasm. Tesla is giving him $29 billion. Okay. Wow. Thank goodness. You know, the guy was starving until Tesla paid him $29 billion in stock. Wow, what a joke. I mean, in fact, let's check and see how the Tesla shares are responding to this. I imagine they've gone down as a result. Oh, they're up 6.66. $6.66 per share, that is. And yeah, it looks like the news, or maybe it's just going with the market. I don't know. I mean, if you look at the 1-year chart of Tesla, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, the 1-year chart looks bad. If you look at the 5-year chart, it's not attractive. So anyway, enough about that nonsense. As far as other financial headlines, what do we have? Disney can see big earnings growth ahead. Whoa, Disney doing a fine job with the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe, by the way. Yeah, Disney. I would buy your stock if it was the last stock in the world. Just kidding. All right, what else do we have? Trump penalty threat puts India in a bind over Russian oil. Oh yeah, we're gonna penalize you if you buy Russian oil. You see, I'm sure that'll work out well, as these economic policies are just always very well thought out. Pardon the sarcasm. All right, what else do we have here? Thanks for saying hi, everybody. Hi, cheers. If you got any news stories you want me to comment on, just leave a comment and I'll consider it. And if you leave a super chat, I'll definitely address your comments. Let's see. Trump is trying to sell his economy. Polls show Americans aren't buying it. Oh, wow. What's happened? Have we found a cure to economic illiteracy in the U.S.? I doubt it, because it looks rampant. All right, what do we have? 6 months into his comeback term, Trump has taken full ownership of the U.S. economy, for better or for worse. His party must now sell it to voters. Yeah, they must spin it via sycophants to voters. Like what? Let's see here. A recent Fox News poll shows that 62% of voters disapprove of Trump's handling of tariffs. Yeah, Even the 70-year-old boomers who are watching Fox News still disapprove of Trump's handling of tariffs. Duh. Even they're less economically illiterate than the government officials that are advising on policy. Pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. Tariffs. They harm the consumer-driven economy by causing higher prices, less choice, shortages, lower quality, and less competition in the marketplace. All five of those things are bad for consumers, and all five of those things harm the economy. They cause a net loss in jobs because they cause more jobs to be cut than they cause to be created. So they benefit a couple cronies. It's it's corporatism, or you could say crony capitalism. They can be the same thing, and in this case, they certainly are. So 62% of Fox News viewers disapprove of Trump's handling of tariffs, and 58% are against the tax and spending bill, and 55% are unhappy with his overall handling of the economy. This is the boomers who watch Fox News, folks. So this isn't people that are my age or 30 or 20 who are getting all of their news from social media. I mean, look, Facebook realized in 2012 that most people on the internet are getting most of their news from social media. That is Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. These are the places people get their news nowadays because they don't trust mainstream news sources. And can you blame them? Were you around in 2020? Did you see that debacle? Yeah, that was fun, right? All right, what else do you got? As you know, my main concern about the U.S. has been the economy for over 20 years as the government has expanded into larger and larger and greater overreach. All right, what else do we have? E-scooters becoming very popular and causing a spike in injuries. Mexico City had one of the world's highest homicide rates. Why? Because it's rampant with corruption. A little bit like China, a paper tiger who people are frightened of, even though it can't get out of its own way. It's cute when people try to make you spooked of China. I don't know what they're talking about, but China's greatest threat is China and its own cantons. That's the threat to China. The threat to China is that it just splinters into 6 different countries, or at least 4, 3 or 4. I mean, it would make sense for a few of the regions to be autonomous countries, especially considering how shattered their currency and their economy and their credibility and their ability to trade. And I mean, China, people are scared of it. It's not scary. It's not scary. It's self-destructing. And ultimately, the U.S. is turning into China. So there's that. All right, what else do we have here? Other news stories. Warren Buffett's buying distressed homes with 30-year mortgages and renting them out. I don't blame him. It's a smart move because there are lots of busted homes and lots of people that can't get mortgages, and rent is just skyrocketing everywhere as people flee the cities. I mean, I'm located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and the real estate prices in Lehigh Valley are just off the charts. Like condos are costing $300,000, and it's just ridiculous. And it's because of 2020. It's because people started doing a mass exodus from Philly and New York. We're about an hour from both places here. And that just caused rents to skyrocket. It caused home prices to skyrocket. Even vacant lots, I'm sure, have gone way, way up in price. So it's just economic failure after economic failure. And ultimately, the folks who want us to have lower interest rates, even though I would prefer low interest rates because I'm about to purchase real estate, it's still not good for the overall economy. I mean, I want low interest rates because personally, I need low real estate price. I need a lower, a lower monthly cost for real estate when I purchase it. But guess what? the dollar it's not exactly strong. Like it's strong compared to other world currencies, but it's suboptimal at best. It's way better than the euro and the yuan and the yen and the pound, and it's probably even better than the Swiss franc. But if I was going to look at other world currencies, the Swiss franc would be the first one I would check out because Switzerland is not part of the debacle known as the European Union. Dr. Oz on the future of healthcare in the U.S. There's a new sheriff in town. Whoa, I feel so great now. Wow. Like, there's a new sheriff in town. Geez, my health is just skyrocketing. Thanks, Dr. Oz. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see what's trending on Twitter, which some lunatics refer to as X. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Geez, 16 viewers. That's pretty sweet. Like for this channel, that's an incredible amount. Don't forget to press the share button, especially if you're an influencer. And of course, again, if you've got questions or if you've got breaking news stories and so forth, hit us up. Leave a comment and tell us all about it. And maybe, just maybe, we'll comment. So just checking the trending here quick on Twitter X. I'm just going to call it Twitter X. Shout out to Tyler Clark from Dream Firms for coming up with that one. I never heard that before I heard Tyler say it, and that's what I call it from now on. Twitter X. Yes. It's a good name for it because it sounds like a brand, unlike a letter, which can never be a brand. I work for a marketing company. Elon Musk doesn't understand that X can't be a brand. What is wrong with that guy? He has like the wisdom of moss. The dewy sweet wisdom of moss. Because folks, you can have a really high intelligence and be extremely unwise, which is exactly what's going on with that guy. He is a mess. And once you see a pattern of fraud develop, as I have with Elon Musk, how are they going to regain their credibility? Misrepresenting material facts on purpose hurts your credibility like whoop. Yeah. All right, so what else do we have here? SummerSlam. Oh, geez. All right, what else is in the news? Traitor. The term traitor is trending. I don't know why. Let's see what's going on with traitors. Oh, geez. Oh, I see what's going on. They're trying to charge Obama with treason, or somebody thinks that Obama's going to be charged with treason. And that's Barack Obama, by the way. We're not talking about Michelle. There's some stuff about Australia. Did you know that there is a $5 billion black market for tobacco products in Australia? There is legit cartel wars going on right now. Like there are hits and cartels and a giant black market and a shakedown of tobacco shops, which all have hooks into them from the black market because they want to act like a speakeasy and sell black market tobacco because the excise taxes are so high that it's caused a $5 billion drug war in Australia. What a shithole. I mean, geez, it's supposed to be a first world nation. It's not a first world nation. Australia is a second world nation. It's too close to China. The government is completely out of its mind. It's bonkers. The Australian government makes the UK government look partially sane. And New Zealand is just as bad. A disaster. Those two, oh my gosh. If you're in Australia, get out. Move to the US. I mean, please, move to the US. There's plenty of room. It's lush and beautiful. And Australia is a disaster. You can't get out of the way from a collapsing government of doom. Yeah, okay, there's a lot of gold, but is it really worth it? You got to be under the legal system of the Australian government. It's not worth it. There's gold and silver and copper and palladium and platinum all over the place. The US Southwest is all full of silver. Go start a silver mine. There's gold in the US too. It's not worth being in Australia. The place sucks. It sucks. And the government caused the drug war. Even the guy who's the czar of their drug war has stated publicly on their 60 Minutes show that the problem is that the excise taxes are too high. It's the government's fault. Yeah, that's right. It's the government's fault. The guy says, I don't remember what his name is, but he says, here's the solution for the $5 billion black market for tobacco in Australia. The solution is lower the excise taxes so that the black market tobacco is competitive in price with the legal tobacco. Idiots. Idiots. I mean, stupid policy going all the way back to the mid 90s at the very latest. I mean, who knows? It probably goes back much further than that, but Australia's been doing dumb stuff since the 90s, and it's super obvious. Yeah, pimp named 24K. I assume that means 24 karat gold. Bling bling, yo. Way to be pimp named. Does that mean you were named by a pimp? Or you are a pimp? To quote J. Rue the Damager, yeah, are you a pimp? A hustler? No, I'm not. Are you a man? Can you stand alone like a man has to sometimes? Yes, I can. Are you willing to go out there and save the lives of our children, even if it means you losing your own life? Yes, I am. Oh, geez. Everybody was crazy in the 90s. Remember that? Everybody was crazy. Oh, my gosh. It was like style points to be out of your mind. Fortunately, that's gone out of style, right? As the wholesome movement, love the wholesome movement, right? I've been watching Little House on the Prairie and listening to Run DMC and stuff. Like, yeah, I still love the Wu-Tang Clan. I still love Snoop Dogg, which was stuck in my head for half my bike ride yesterday. Lottie Dottie, they likes to party. They don't cause trouble. They don't bother nobody. Yeah. So yeah, it's been an interesting summer indeed. And hopefully yours hasn't been a disaster, but it feels like summer is over here in Pennsylvania. It feels like summer is toast. So I hate that feeling when you get up in the morning and it's kind of cold out again. It's like, oh man, I mean, it's only August 4th. And it's like completely, it feels like fall, you know? You're getting these cold nights already. This is supposed to be the hottest time of the year, all right? The last 2 weeks of July, first 2 weeks of August should be the ultimate, but it's not. It's kind of cold. And we had a cold spring with a lot of rain, like record amount of rain in May. I think we had like 8 inches of rain in May. It's good out there. Like, the soil's wet enough. It's, plants are making the place look like Cambodia. If your mountain bike trail hasn't been serviced for a while, maybe bring a machete on your next ride because it is growing in. Ah, you're a positive, inspirational, motivating person. A pimp. Nice. All right. That's fantastic. I love that. A positive, inspiration, motivating person. A pimp. That's fantastic. That's ace. I gotta try to remember that. Maybe I'll have to post on Facebook. In fact, I'll do it now. Because I'm a pimp too. A positive, inspirational, motivating person. I empower people. Everybody that I interact with, I empower them to the best of my ability. It's usually pretty easy to do. It's usually pretty easy to like figure out which people need to be empowered and what about, right? Super easy. So do it. Empower people. I mean, like there's a big difference between talking about the space weather and teaching your viewers how to forecast and, make estimations and so on about space weather themselves. It's not rocket science. Like, it's a lot more complex. Rocket science is just a bunch of parabolas, whereas space weather has a lot of variables. I mean, the seasons figure in, right? And as we approach September, I mean, you're going to lose daylight really fast over the next 6 weeks. Don't get depressed by it. Be ready for it, right? The more prepared you are, the less scared you are, and hopefully the more immune to nonsense you'll become. So yeah, that's a little bit about what's going on. We're still hearing this stuff about Obama. Oh yeah, they're just gonna bust Obama. They're just gonna throw him in jail. Yeah, oh yeah, sure, sure. Like, I mean, the Trump derangement syndrome people and the Trump derangement supporter sycophants, they're just as crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't know how people got so brainwashed, but like, what the heck? There's so many cultists. I guess I'll close out the video by talking about cultists because I like talking about cultists. Cultists are very interesting, right? So, what are the three features of a cult? Cults have three features, all of them, hands down. If they're missing one of these features, they're not a cult, all right? So, first of all, you got to have a living leader. That eliminates a lot of cults that people think still are cults, right? Scientology isn't a cult anymore. Each individual church, well, I don't know. It's L. Ron Hubbard passed away long ago, like in the 80s or 90s or something, and that was the living leader of Scientology. So, like, Scientology isn't the original Scientology anymore. You could still say it's a cult, like they have like a leader, but it's not the same. It's not the same Scientology as the L. Ron Hubbard Scientology because they have a different living leader, right? So think of the Branch Davidians, right? David Koresh. I mean, that was a classic one. They built a compound in a desolate area. They had a living leader. They believed nonsense, and it was harmful. You don't have to have a compound in the middle of nowhere, though. The three features of a cult are living leader, believes nonsense, and is harmful. The best cult of the past 100 years, the best one would be the Nazi cult. The Nazi cult of World War II Germany. That was really the most harmful cult. I guess you could probably make the argument. The Japanese, they had a cult of Emperor Hirohito at the same time. They believed nonsense. North Korea is a cult. The whole country is a cult. They have a living leader. They believe nonsense. And the ramifications of that are harmful, right? So, I mean, that's a little bit about cults. Why are there so many? 2020 is partially to blame for this. 2020 is partially to blame for there being so many cults. And it is because humans lost faith in all institutions as a result of 2020. And I mean all institutions, from the family to the government and everything in between. So the federal government choked by not stomping on governors, destroying the economy with ridiculous mandates and lockdowns. That's unconstitutional stuff. The federal government did nothing about it, just allowed lockdowns, took advice from frauds, and that's what you get, man. You get a bad result. And that's why there are so many cults. Like, there were plenty of cults. Like, by 2016, there were plenty of cults. There was already a Trump cult, an anti-Trump cult. There was an Elon Musk cult by then. And by 2022, by 2024, boom, now you have an anti-Elon Musk cult too, because people now hate Elon Musk because he got Trump elected. So, like, the same people who were, like, a big section of the same Elon cultists, they have now become anti-Elon cultists. Like, there are stickers that you can buy that say, like, Elon Musk sucks or something to stick on your Tesla so nobody vandalizes it. How crazy is that? Like, what? So, yeah, I don't know why there are so many cults, but certainly 2020 has added to it, because the events of 2020 through, I'll say, 2023, or 2020 through 2022 is sufficient. It undermined literally every institution. Families broke up. Lifetime friends were just like, I don't like you anymore because you got vaccinated, or because you didn't get vaccinated, or because you wouldn't tell me your vaccination status, or like because you said our business ought to shut down, or you said the church ought to shut down, or like whatever. Like, what? How did we get to the point where we're just like, oh yeah, the government says, oh, you can't gather in public, And everybody's like, okay, what? The Constitution is there so that when a crisis happens, we still do the right thing, even though a crisis has happened. So like, what the heck? I mean, it's just bonkers. It's bonkers, and like so many cultists believe so much nonsense. I mean, you've got pole shift cultists, you've got chemtrail cultists, right? I mean, the pole shift cultists, they have various different cult leaders. I mean, there are a bunch of dum-dums on YouTube that keep citing the pole shift, which isn't even a blip on the geologic radar. But for some reason, people think like the pole shift is super dangerous. There's no indication that, like, when the magnetic poles reverse, that there's anything crazy that happens. We don't really understand the mechanism very well that even generates Earth's magnetic field. So just the idea that the pole shift is scary somehow, like it's just ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh. Like, how about understand how electricity and magnetism work before you give people terrible advice about 5G and chemtrails? Like, what the hell? Chemtrails? How many people are yelling at a plane right now? Sky bastards! They think that because a contrail is persistent, that it's somehow different than a non-persistent contrail. That's the Dane Wigington cult, right? Dane Wigington is the leader of the chemtrail cult. And you have, let's see, we've got an earthquake forecasting cult because there are a bunch of dummies on the internet that think a guy called Dutch Stinks can forecast earthquakes. You've got various flim-flam bamboozlery cultists, right? You've got plenty of YouTube channels that have like hundreds of thousands of followers, and every once in a while they'll tune in and be like, did you know about this thing that's completely objectively false from a scientific perspective? And I'm like, yeah, I know people believe that. I don't believe it because it's not reality, but so yeah, cults, they are. Here's the features. Once again, let me just reiterate. The features of a cult are 1, living leader. 2, believes nonsense. 3, is harmful. So yeah, list your favorite cults in the comments if I missed some. I mean, there are so many. There's probably a Xi Jinping cult in China. There's probably like a general communism cult in China. Like the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Because the what is he called? The premier of China. He's like the living cult leader. They have a living leader, believe nonsense, and are harmful, like to the population of China, right? Oh man. Yeah, cults. Cults are super fun, except that they're super creepy and they ruin people's lives. They ruin people's children's lives, which is like even worse. Like, if you're a parent and you join a cult, that's way worse than if you're just like a single person or something. I mean, you bring your spouse or your kids or something into a cult, they're eventually going to be like, oh crap, I got to figure out a way to escape from this nonsense before the place like gets burned to the ground or a gunfight rings out or who knows what else. Like, it's a mess. Like, I mean, what the hell? If somebody is trying to get you to believe nonsense and they want you to move to a desolate location, to a compound, because the end is near and do what I say and you'll survive, that's the oldest grift ever. That is the oldest grift ever. The end is near. Repent right now, or you're going to burn in eternal lakes of fire. Like, that's the oldest grift. That grift is like older than the New Testament. It's probably older than the Old Testament. It probably goes back to written language. Probably goes back to spoken language, for that matter. I don't think the cuneiform tablets were required for people to believe nonsense, have a living leader who spews nonsense, and then have harmful effects from it. All right, yeah, so it's time to close this thing out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody who has. Don't forget to press share. Thanks to everybody who viewed live. Thanks to everybody who viewed in syndication. We'll see you soon here at the Smash News Network. And until next time, I'll have been your host, Dan, aka Smash O Mash, signing off. And may that solar wind be at your back.